Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast with Kevin Harrington and Seth Greene. Kevin Harrington is the inventor of the infomercial, one of the original sharks from the hit TV show Shark Tank, and has generated over $5 billion in TV and digital direct response sales. Seth Greene is the world's first trusted authority on cutting-edge direct response marketing, a best-selling author, and the only 3-time Marketer of the Year nominee. On the podcast, Kevin and Seth interview sharkpreneurs who share straight talk on what it takes to explode your business.
49 faces looked to him in triumph. Over the last 12 months, they had each taken turns and promoted his business for a week at a time, driving over $987,342 in revenue. What if you had a network of 50 centers of influence who promoted your business every week for a year? Grab your copy of the #1 Amazon best-selling book, The Ultimate Guide to Growing Your Business with a Podcast, at 33% off the Amazon price by going to ultimatepodcastbook.com. Again, that website for 33% off the Amazon price is ultimatepodcastbook.com. Welcome to the Sharkpreneur podcast. This is Seth Greene, your co-host. Today, I have the good fortune to be interviewing Adam Sandman, founder and CEO of Inflectra. Adam, your suite spans tools like Spira Plan, Spira Team, Spira Test, Repeats, Chronodesk, Surewire, and Inflectra.ai, and a whole bunch of other things. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks. It's great to be here today, Seth.
It is great to have you. Let's go back in time. How did you get started?
So it was 20 years ago. It was our 20th anniversary this year. I was working in the consulting field and realized that there were not good solutions for consulting firms in particular, but really companies of any size for managing testing. And everyone hated testing. It was all done using spreadsheets and whiteboards and very manual methods. And for some clients, it still is today. Some people are obviously on the AI bandwagon. Others are back in the Stone Age. It was surprising how many companies were still in the Stone Age. There were some tools on the market from some of the leading vendors, very expensive, very complicated. Nothing was available, easy to use. So I launched the company to provide a easy to use solution to manage testing, manage QA, launch it on the internet, use what was then the nascent platform of Google AdWords for a B2B audience. And the rest is sort of history. Very much a low-touch sales model, self-service. And again, for those who maybe not as seasoned in the IT industry, in the old days, 20 years ago, if you wanted a demo of a product, a salesperson came to your office with a laptop and a projector and took you out for lunch and showed you the application, and the software cost $100K. We thought, well, we could do it for $10K if we cut out all of that unnecessary process, give you a live demo, try it yourself, online sales, super easy.
Well, that is incredible. I'm sure the longer version of that story could probably fill a book somewhere if it hasn't already. So let's talk about, you've been doing this for a while. Talk a little bit about what's changed over the years.
The first thing was the company journey. It started as a lifestyle business, partly because I had a young family, and anyone starting a company has to figure out what stage of their life and the business and how they align. So first 8 years, lifestyle business, me doing most of the work. Then we moved into, I would say, founder-led professional sales, in the sense that we were trying to grow the business, not just lifestyle, but I was still doing a lot of the work, a lot of the demos, a lot of the technical lifting. The team was building the product, but I was the primary salesperson. And then the third epoch, which we're in now, is really professionalizing everything in the company, moving to the point where I have no single point of failure in the company, and everything from sales to finance to marketing should be done by someone that's their core job. And I'm out being the external advocate like today. And that's sort of the three parts of our journey. The industry, of course, has changed massively in that time period. We've gone from everything being software on premise to the cloud to mobile technology. And now with AI, the pace of change is only increasing. On our product side, how you test software is changing. Everything from what you're testing. It used to be web, used to be desktop apps, then it's web apps, then it's mobile. Now it's chatbots and AI assistants and agents. But the need for quality hasn't changed. So I would say, ironically, in 20 years, the fundamental ICP, the fundamental thing we solve has not changed. The stakes are higher, I think, than ever before. If a car crashes because the self-driving mode didn't work, or a financial system lets someone move money out of your bank account to someone else's, or vice versa, the stakes are much higher. Software is so much embedded in our society that what was a minor inconvenience 20 years ago could be a life-changing event today.
Absolutely. So let's dive in a little bit deeper. You've built a number of different tools. Can you walk us through the list and what each of them does?
Sure. And really, it's a platform with some flavors. So the Spira platform is for managing the testing process, quality process, basically quality management, 3 flavors. Aspire Test is the entry level for those who just want something to manage testing. The Team Edition is for those who want to manage the entire project, lifecycle from soup to nuts. Aspire Plan brings in portfolio, program, risk management for the enterprise buyer. So we basically segment the buyer depending on their need. It's really one piece of software with feature flags. So it's one code base to manage. People start with Aspire Test and they graduate or not, depending on their needs. But it lets us integrate with different tools that are already in their tool chain without appearing duplicative. That's an important thing we found is that most enterprise IT organizations have a bunch of stuff already. And if you try and do everything, they won't often buy your software because it's duplicative. So Aspire Test sits nicely into your existing tool chain, integrates with your Atlassian suite, your GitHub from Microsoft or your GitLab. And then down the road, people might say, well, do I need some of these other tools? Can I start to consolidate? Then you've got an expansion play. Then the other tools bolt onto that. Rapise does your traditional deterministic test automation, web testing, mobile testing, API, ERP. And then Surewire adds in the ability to test agents and test chatbots and non-deterministic systems, which is becoming increasingly a problem because software used to give you the same answer every time you ask the same question. Now it doesn't. How do you test that at scale? If you're the head of sales, you've got a CRM running in your Salesforce, a CRM agent in your Salesforce, and it's talking to your customers, you want to make sure that every conversation is on message. 99% isn't good enough. Customer support agent, same sort of thing going on there. So we're seeing a big need here for agent testing. So we've added these add-on products onto Spira to basically extend the reach and really tackle different adjacent audiences and use cases.
That makes a lot of sense. Who is an ideal client for each of those?
So the ideal customer for the Spira platform in general would be head of quality, head of engineering, VP of engineering, head of DevOps, head of app dev. It could also be the CIO for a smaller company. For the larger enterprise, it would more be the departmental level. Then for Surewire, it's going to be either data scientists or it could well be someone in the quality engineering discipline or the risk management discipline, because again, risk is becoming so much more prevalent with AI. And Rapise for automation, that's fairly and squarely in the automated testing, the QE side of things.
You mentioned it being duplicative and not trying to avoid duplication of existing tools. When does tool fragmentation and duplication become a business risk?
I mean, for us, it's always a risk because you always have different departments in shadow IT going out there and buying different things, the market moves so quickly. If you look around when we started 20 years ago, Jira was just being born the same time we were being born. Now it's become a very dominant player. Things like Bugzilla were the primary solution, if you can believe that. Things like Notion have come along. I mean, Jenkins was the number one DevOps tool from 4 years ago, and now it's been replaced pretty much consistently by GitHub and GitLab. And whatever's next is going to do the same thing. So for us, we have to be able to integrate with what's coming next. We have to, well, possible, capitalize on things that are changing, take more space from our customers. I think in any industry, if you're not expanding your footprint at a customer, you are ultimately at risk of being replaced down the road. So we always see every customer as a start of sale, not an end of sale once you've acquired someone.
You mentioned being on top of what's coming next. How do you stay on the cutting edge?
Uh, the difficulty. It's going so fast. I mean, things like TLDR newsletter are really good. I love things like The Economist and Bloomberg for the business level. TLDR is great for technical stuff. I get a lot of emails and podcasts I listen to. I go to conferences and events. I do a lot of travel, so I'm always where my customers are going to be, whether that's Amazon reInvent or it's going to IdeaWare Summit or it's going to be a testing conference. I'm speaking at many events. Really, you have to keep your ear to the ground, talking to other companies, partners. What are they doing? What are our customers doing? You just have to always be listening to what's going on. And then also we do work with Gartner quite a bit. We become a Gartner client, and that helps us get some information from the analyst community as well.
You talk a lot about obviously built on testing. What do you think the biggest mistake businesses make is when it comes to testing?
The biggest mistake most companies make is they don't understand what their systems do before they try and test them. So they want to jump into we've got this great testing tool. It promises it can test all my software for me. Let's go use that software. Well, what are you testing? What is this meant to do? Well, I don't know. It's written down somewhere. Where? And if you want to use something like an AI agentic testing tool, well, AI needs context, business context. So if you don't understand what your system is supposed to do, if you haven't got good documentation, good requirements at the outset, it's very hard to have high quality at the end, garbage in, garbage out. So I think the biggest mistake is someone sees a shiny tool that promises this nirvana of quality, but they haven't got their house in order. They don't know what the system's meant to do, and then they struggle.
That makes a lot of sense. You've helped so many companies and so many users. What's the biggest challenge you're facing now?
I think the biggest challenge we in any company is facing is navigating what I would call category phase out. The risk that something like Claude Code or any of the other agentic tools will replace an entire category. Like the entire testing market becomes one person pushing a button on Claude Code. Is that feasible? It's a good question. And then also, I would say the other big challenge, which is less talked about, is probably fragmentation of sovereignty and privacy. We've gone from a world 20 years ago where we were globalizing, and if you were a company launching 20 years ago, like I did, you could sell software anywhere in the world online pretty much without any hindrance. Now, with the EU AI Act, EU GDPR, digital service taxes, data sovereignty requirements, we're becoming more fragmented again. And it becomes more complex. And maybe we'll find that Europe's going to disaggregate from the US. That means that companies like ours that are headquartered in the US may have to set up European subsidiaries. I mean, so these challenges of digital sovereignty and deglobalization are running against cloud, against AI. So we have these two countervailing forces. Which is going to win? And they're both happening at once in this sort of super cycle we're in. So I think that's what keeps me awake at night is this, privacy compliance plus AI in the opposite direction, and they're moving in opposite directions against each other.
How does a business know if they need you?
When their customers are testing their product. So the old joke is if you're not testing your product and delivering high quality, your customers are. And usually they don't tell you, they just choose something else. So reputation is it's hard to build, easy to lose. So I would say customers that are struggling to deliver quality software, they're getting very high low satisfaction scores or high support, inquiry rates. They have a problem. Most companies know about it. They don't want to deal with it. It's expensive to fix. Those companies will come to us because they realize how can I solve this at the root cause rather than just doubling my support team or trying to put a band-aid on it.
Your passion is obvious. What do you like best about what you're doing?
It's never the same every year. It's never the same every week. I love the variety. I love being at this meeting, speaking to people. I also love the fact as a bootstrap business, we haven't raised any equity. The control and the freedom to do what we think is right for our customers. So I think that's one of the fun things is compared to a lot of our competitors that are slow moving. I love the fact that we can be nimble, make decisions, reverse course when we need to, pivot when we need to, but hold the line and also be counter cyclical if we need to be. If all of our competitors are doing one thing because private equity is pushing them that way, we can do some things that are a bit different. Like everyone's pushing towards cloud. We can go after some of the clients that don't want cloud because of sovereignty reasons. And that's a huge market for us. But yet PE is pushing everyone the other way, which is like, okay, you keep pushing, keep doing that. So I love the fact that we have this ability to be self-directed by our clients and not necessarily following the herd.
What are you most excited about for Inflectra over the next year?
Definitely the launch of SureWire. I mean, SureWire we released a few months ago. It's the new AI testing tool. It's a blue ocean market. There's white space. Much as we love beating competitors, it is fun to build a category. We've never done that. Honestly, when I launched the company, we were a small company, privately funded. We went after a segment that existed. We wanted to be a cheaper, faster version of that segment, but ultimately it wasn't new. SureWire is our first really entry into a new segment where we're defining the category, which is exciting and more expensive. And I wouldn't advise it for a first product launch. That's why it's our third or fourth product. We have more funds to launch it and more reach to do that. But I'm excited about building the new category.
And for our folks watching or listening who want to learn more, where is the best place for us to send them?
For the company, inflectra.com. If you want to talk to me, LinkedIn, I live on LinkedIn all the time. Adam Sandman, there are only two of us on LinkedIn. The other guy is an ophthalmologist, so it's the one who's not the ophthalmologist. I always wear a vest or a waistcoat and a bright shirt, so you'll see me on LinkedIn, usually wearing the same outfit.
All right. This has been Seth Greene for Sharkpreneur with Adam Sandman from Inflectra, Inflectra. Adam, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you, Seth. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks, everybody, for watching or listening. We will talk to you or see you next time.
Why do so many businesses struggle while others seem to explode overnight? Do you wish you had the secret to this type of exponential growth? Now, I've scaled more than 20 businesses to over $100 million, and it's not just luck. In my new book with Mark Tim, Mentor to Millions, you'll learn the repeatable framework I use in all my business ventures for massive success. Order at kevinmentor.com and get over $1,000 in bonuses. Head to kevinmentor.com.